You're watching HFO-TV.
Welcome back to HFO-TV. I'm Aaron Kirk Douglas, Marketing Director, here today with Ted Stark, Senior Vice President of Property and Casualty with USI Insurance. Today's topic is National Fire Safety Month. Welcome, Ted.
Thanks, Aaron. Pleasure to be here, and it's been a while, but I'm glad to be joining you today.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, first off, I was wondering if you could give us some insight into what the leading causes of fires are in structures like apartment buildings.
Yeah, as you mentioned, Aaron, it is National Fire Safety Month, the month of October, and it's really this month because it really is leading into where fires tend to happen more in residential structures during this time of year. We've got the holidays coming up, obviously holiday decorations. You of course have the space heaters that are a problem in apartments and single-family homes, but really the leader is, and it's not too surprising, is kitchen fires. Mm-hmm. And that's where most of the fires are coming out of the apartment world. And one solution that we've been obviously touting out there to our property managers and owners of apartments is a simple really fix, and it's called a stovetop fire suppression system. Mm-hmm. And it does exactly what it sounds like, is when the area gets too hot, it will completely just extinguish, just like a fire extinguisher would, the fire. And so it's been a great solution. They're as inexpensive as $18 a unit, no activation fee, and it's something, from a return on investment for an owner. We really have done the study, not only us, but obviously our insurance carriers that we rely on as well.
So does it use the same chemicals that are in a fire extinguisher, and it's not water-based?
No, it's not water-based, same chemicals, and it will completely put it out. And really where the return is when you think of a fire, a typical fire, even if you can put it out with the fire extinguisher, is going to do a lot more damage. With this one, it puts it out immediately, and the average damage to an apartment unit is $25,000. This one, with units that have been using this for over a 10-year period of time, it's down to $500. Wow. So again, the cleanup expense, the reconstruction has been really, and keep in mind the tenant. I mean, that's who you really want to, have for a long term. You don't have to displace them a lot of the time. You don't have to, they can still live in their quarters. Nothing's really damaged. Obviously the painting and some things that have to be done, but the cost for the owner or property manager has been really reduced with these systems.
Huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, is there another common cause of house or apartment fires besides the kitchen?
Well, as I mentioned earlier, obviously with the colder months coming up, you have the space heaters, which gets all apartment owners nervous. The main thing with those is you want to make sure they are compliant, that you're not bringing in the sketchy ones. You want to make sure they're able to turn off when they hit a certain temperature, and then obviously if they fall over, that they immediately shut off.
What about those oil ones that you see people get? Are those safer than the ones that are shaped like a disc and put out all the heat?
No, actually those are probably more
Really?
more exposure. So the main thing is that you should have guidelines within your lease. The property manager should be reviewing all those and just making sure your tenant, obviously you want to make sure your tenant is comfortable. I mean, that's the main thing too. And but you really definitely want to watch out what they're bringing in there. The other leader is of course the barbecue grills. Mm-hmm. And again, you want to make sure those are 10 feet away from the structure, never left unattended, and just making sure, again, you want, give your tenant every possible accommodation, but where we've seen it better in communities is where there's actually a barbecue area where the tenants can go, have a nice place, and so that's a little bit more controlled than have individuals.
So weenie roasts in the living room are sort of
That's not recommended. Not recommended.
Okay.
Yeah.
Aside from calling the fire department, what are some of the first things an owner should do when there's a fire?
Well, you'd be surprised, Aaron. People do freeze up, and it is very stressful. I mean, obviously, the main thing first is life safety. You want to get all your tenants out of there. It's really good to practice that evacuation, where they should go in the event of a fire, you know, and then make sure the property manager obviously has a count of everyone to make sure everyone's out of the building. That's number one. Obviously, number two, as you said, 911,
Right.
get the fire department there. But, you know, going down the checklist, of course, call your agent. Just kidding. But no, really, the agent should be involved because, again, they've seen it, they've done it, they know the steps. But more importantly is really have on a list of some good restoration contractors, because your job as the owner, property manager, policy holder is to mitigate that risk. So whether that's, you know, order the board up of the building, whether that's, call the restoration to, to do their work to make sure that, hey, that fire is not going to, spread out to any of the neighboring communities. So interview the restoration contractors around your community and have them on call. And definitely some good ones around Portland are Paul Davis Restoration and Kennedy Restoration are two of the top ones that we've been utilizing in the Portland area.
Okay. And are there other decisions an apartment owner can make to help reduce exposure to losses from a fire?
Yeah, I mean, what's really happening right now in the state of Oregon that a lot of owners and property managers are looking into, that some have already implemented, the ones that are above the curb, is really requiring renter's insurance. And that it's great. It's a good thing for the renter to have some insurance on their personal property, of course. They do have valuables in there, but more importantly on the liability. And that's when it comes back to the owner. If that renter does not have any insurance, the owner's going to pay for that candle that burned and caused $25,000 damage to that apartment. The owner or the property manager is going to pay for that loss, and hence then we all know what happens. Their premiums will increase, and that's not a good thing for anyone.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Ted.
Thanks, Aaron.
Ted Stark from USI Northwest Insurance, and I'm Aaron Kirk Douglas signing off. We'll see you next time on HFO-TV.
Thanks for watching HFO-TV. To learn more about HFO, call or visit our website. See new listings, apartment news, videos, and more when you download our apps at the Android and iPhone markets.